let's take a close look at this. Rachel cut 3 different pies, whole pies. How many pies? 3 whole pies, different pies, into 6 equal pieces. Each pie was cut into 6 equal pieces. How many pieces of pie did she have in all? Okay. Now, we're just looking for a number, but I would love to see what your work looks like to figure this out. Now, some of you are able to think of this and jump right in and do it. So if that's you, then I want you to pause this video, figure it out, and then unpause it and come on back and see if your answer matches mine. If you're not sure, I want you to work with me. Okay, here we go. Rachel cut 3 different pies. Let's draw some pictures. I love pictures, okay? So pies are traditionally shaped like a circle, right? Okay, so let's do that. How many pies again? 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I want to try to get them to be the same size. Now, it's not going to be perfect. And remember, circles are so difficult to draw the same size. But let's pretend all 3 of these pies are the same exact size. That's very important, okay? The next thing is she cut them into 6 equal pieces. So this one has been cut, this one's been cut, this one's been cut. So once again, dividing up circles is a little more difficult than rectangles, but with 6s, think of it this way. If I divided this in half, I have 2 pieces, right? Well, if I have 3 on this side and 3 on this side, that equals 6. So I need to somehow divide this up into thirds and this up into thirds. So in order to do that, you kind of have to make like a less than symbol on one side and a greater than symbol on the other side. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Same thing for this one. Divide it in half. Do a little less than symbol. Do a greater than symbol. I got 6. Divide that one in half. Less than symbol. And a greater than symbol. And now I have 6 and 6 and 6. I think you can see where this is going, huh? If this has 6, and this has 6, and this has 6 pieces, they're asking, how many pieces of pie did she have in all? So some of you may be saying, I can add this up. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals, okay? And yeah, you could do that. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. So she had 18 pieces of pie. Okay? Now, some of you may also be seeing this and saying, this is a multiplication problem. Check it out. I have 3 pies. And each of the pies have 6 pieces in them. 3 times 6 equals 18. That would be the one ultimately I would love to have had you do to show that. But once again, addition works too, right? So either which way, you're correct. All right, let's move on to number 12. For number 12, it says that Rory had 40 slices of pizza to share. Ha ha ha! Pizza party at Rory's house. Each pizza was cut into 8 slices. Okay. How many pizzas did Rory have? Wow. Okay. So, those of you that can work on this, you can pause this video now and do it. Come on back, check your answer. Those of you not sure, work with me, okay? All right. Rory had a total of 40 slices of pizza to share. So we know he had 40. Each pizza was cut into 8 slices. Okay. How many pizzas did Rory have? Well, when you start with the total amount of slices, looks like we're dividing these up into 8 slices per pizza. So one way to think about this is to say, okay, I've got 40 slices of pizza. I want to divide that up into 8 slices for each pizza. The answer will give me how many pizzas I have. There were. So now some of you may say, oh my gosh, come on, you kidding me? 40 divided by 8, how do I figure this out? Okay. Well, also too, don't forget, remember, I know a lot of us know our multiplication much better than division. So remember, multiplication, you just go backwards to get your division. So if you start with this unknown and you multiply this unknown by 8, whatever that is will equal 40. So you're thinking, okay, 8 times what equals 40? Okay, well, let's figure this out. We know that every pizza has 8 slices in it. Is one pizza going to be enough? No, that's only 8. How about another pizza? That would be 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16, not enough. What about another pizza with 8 pieces in it? That would be 8 times 3. 3 and 8. That equals 24. Not enough. What about 4? That would be 8 times 4. That's 32. What about 8 times 5 pizzas? That equals 40. 8 times 5, or 5 times 8, however you want to look at it, equals 40. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 40. So the answer is, how many pizzas did Rory have? Rory had 5 pizzas. All right. Let's move on to number 13. So it's asking you to choose the fraction that is not equivalent to the fraction that's given. So for 13, oops, there we go, we get bigger here. For 13, you're given the fraction 2/4. And you're given 4 other fractions, 4/8, 2/8, 1/2, and 3/6. One of these fractions is not equivalent to 2/4. But the other 3 are. So you need to identify which one of these fractions is not equal to 2/4. Okay? You can do this a multitude of ways. You can try drawing number lines and place the 2/4 along the number line and then see where 4/8 and where 2/8 and 1/2 and 3/6 reside. You can also use your fraction bars here and compare your 2/4 to the other ones to see what comes up. So why don't you go ahead and figure this out, come up with something, and then pause this and then come on back and we'll compare answers, see how you did, okay? All right, so I like my fraction strip, so I'm looking at 2/4. So I'm gonna put 2/4 up here, 1, 2. A was 4/8. So let's take a look at 4, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Come on. 4/8, okay? Let's see, where is it if this is not equal? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, that's equal. That's not gonna work. All right, let's try the next one. B was 2/8. Oh, well, that was an easy answer, right? Because all I gotta do is take 2/8 away. And is 2/8 equal to 2/4? No, it's not equal. And since we know only one of them is not equal, we're done. And 2/8 was the answer. All right, let's go on to number 14. For number 14, we're looking at 5/5. Now think about this, guys. Look at that. What's the denominator? 5. So how many pieces are in the whole? 5. What's the numerator? 5. How many pieces are we describing? 5. Do we have the whole thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. If you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've got the whole thing, right? Okay. All right. So now we need to find we need to find the fraction that is not equal to 5/5. It's a little tricky. So I want you to go ahead and give this a shot. Once again, you can use your tools there and figure it out. Okay. So go for it and pause the video and come on back when you think you got it. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to use my fraction. Online fraction things is the way to go, baby. Okay, so the first one, so we got 5/5, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put the 5/5 up here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So what's our first option? B or A was 4/4. All right, let's tip 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/4 is equal. It's the same amount. You got the whole thing, right? It's just bigger pieces. And then it was a little tricky. I'm going to skip to D. 2 halves. 1/2, 2 halves. See how that's the whole thing too? C was the tricky one. C said 5, 1. And there's really no number for 1. You can't say oneths. So you have 5/1, and that's weird. Remember, the denominator states how many pieces are in the whole. And if you have 1, that means you just have 1 piece for the whole thing. That means if you have 1 candy bar and the denominator is 1, this is 1. But you only have 1 piece. So therefore, you really only have 1/1. But this says 5. Remember the numerator says the amount of pieces described? So wait a minute. If the whole candy bar is 1 piece, how could you have 5 pieces? It's because you have more than 1 candy bar. Okay? If this is 1/1, then you must have another candy bar. That's 2. That would be 2/1. Each one stands for 1 whole candy bar. You have 2 of them. So if I keep dragging this up, I can't. There's 1. There's 2/1. I don't have enough space, but I keep dragging them. I'd have 5 candy bars. So therefore, C, 5/1 is the correct answer. That is not equal to 5/5. Now, if that's making you scratch your head, have no worries. We're going to be working on a whole lesson on these types of fractions, okay? So don't worry about it. But you're done. You're done with problem solving. You can now go on to your next step, guys. Thanks.